At this point, I should probably be saying my thought-provoking introduction line to both grab you, the audience's attention, as well as introduce my topic for today's speech. But unfortunately, I didn't really have one. You see, during the process of preparing my speech, I kept telling everyone that I couldn't think of anything to say, but that's not necessarily true. It was actually deciding on a topic that I found difficult. By the time I'm saying this, I've already run through multiple ideas, written scripts, decided against them, and completely abandoned these ideas. We make countless decisions every single day. And unfortunately, this is one aspect of my life that I find quite challenging. I attribute this to my tendency to overthink. Most of the time, it takes me longer to make a decision than to actually perform the task itself. So here's the problem. As soon as I start making a decision, I first compute all the possible solutions for it, as well as the advantages and disadvantages to ensure that I make the best choice possible. I then get overwhelmed by the massive list I've just created, and it makes me terrified of continuing to spend any more time and effort to commit to this topic at all. So just like that, I managed to completely exhaust myself and give up before I even start. Clearly, this is greatly inefficient. So how do I solve this problem? I've outlined 3 different ways that you could do this. First, learn to prioritize. Some decisions are worth contemplating. Some are not. We make countless decisions every single day, and that means that we need to prioritize the ones that we spend most time on. In Peter Holland's guide, The Science to Intelligent Decision-Making, he mentions the 10-10-10 rule, in which you ask yourself before making a decision how you would feel about it in 10 minutes, 10 days, and 10 months. By considering the long-term impacts and the importance of these, you can put everything into perspective. This helps you decide how much time and effort you are going to allocate towards making this specific decision. And in turn, it will help you conserve your mental energy for more consequential decisions instead of squandering it on minor ones. Second, use time constraints. You may have heard of Parkinson's law. It states that work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. In other words, a task becomes more complex and requires more time and more energy to complete as you allot more time to it. So giving yourself too much decision time to make a decision can actually be detrimental. This is because the additional time is not used constructively, but only to procrastinate and to second-guess your ideas. It then requires more mental energy and becomes a source of stress and anxiety. Time constraints would solve this, as only the amount of time that is actually needed to make this decision is actually given to it. Third, take action. You may have heard, I already said that. Take action. Whenever I am faced with a decision, I am always afraid that what I put onto paper isn't necessarily the correct or the best answer. And I always feel that I need to anticipate all the possible outcomes and plan out every single step before I even start to avoid certain disaster. So how Peter Holland describes this as planning paralysis, when planning is prioritized over the actual project itself. Over-planning and over-analyzing can lead you to believe that you're actually being productive towards making a decision, while never actually leaving your comfort zone or being definitive. So to solve this, just execute. Stop thinking so much. By doing this, you give yourself more time, and you also be more confident in your decision-making. Put aside the idea of perfectionism. Don't wait for the better answer to come to you, but instead think of ways that you can improve and work towards this improvement. And consider this task as one step at a time to make it much more manageable. So in conclusion, this is me trying to convince myself to implement these decisions into my daily life. So here I am trying to grow by providing methods for others to improve. Me being here is practice of becoming more efficient with my time and decision making. So I hope you also glean some sliver of motivation to do so as well. Thank you.